Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. How's it going, everybody? For a nice day of lazy Sunday game dev. Welcome to episode 32. Party wipe. We're making a roguelike deck builder where you draft an RPG party. Hey, Remus. Hey, Rhiannon. Chat is currently a tale of two Rees. How's it going, everybody? Had a nice long sleep. Yesterday's Godot meetup was excellent. Doing a kind of a makeup stream. I missed Saturday. Since I missed Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday last week. I'm trying to make up for it a little bit. It's been a struggle, but we're good. We're in an okay spot. Serialization seems very robust. At the meetup, I was like, all right, we're gonna redo the menu button row properly using an HBox container. So I was not pleased. And I figured out what's wrong with the HBox container. It goes by custom minimum size. It doesn't go by size. It only arranges things by custom minimum size. So you can change the size of your buttons as much as you want or whatever you're putting in there. The HBox container doesn't care. So I tried it again. I'm changing the custom minimum size anytime I change the texture. And that seems to be working. It's kind of annoying that I had to do that. But hey, we got an actual control node in here doing control node things. And it still works. So we play a guy. Got our little menu undo thing. Menu redo. It's all working. Which is good. Menu still doesn't do anything, but that's fine. You're very tired, and you've gotten sleep, so just taking it easy today. Yeah. I'm also tired, even though I got sleep. Tried to make French toast this morning. It literally fell apart. I made the classic blunder of I neither toasted the bread nor left it out to go stale. And for some reason this morning that just didn't occur to me as something I needed to do. So rip my French toast. I end up having to go back in there and make just regular toast. What just occurred here? Oh, so when we go party button back, this isn't actually getting cleared. That is curious. I kind of see why. Whoa. Oh, we're in move mode now. Okay, what if I do this? Okay, so neither of these, so neither selecting nor unselecting the character in the party roster is having any effect on the board. That is slightly problematic. But yeah, well, let's fix that, and then we're going to work on movement. So we can move around. I've disabled the little path tracer for the moment, but we need to constrain the movement, because right now I can just move anywhere. So we need to constrain our movement a bit. I'm thinking about adding move and act buttons down here in the bottom right. Since this seems to be the cluster of like menu buttons that you can actually do things, I figured just to make things very explicit, because you could also just click on the guy and now they're moving, right? But you could also click on the sword and now they're probably using the sword. And so I'm thinking like maybe we have a little menu thing. Maybe we even show a little icon. Kind of like this, but instead of it being like a... have it be like a unit icon or something. I don't know. Just so someone could say click, they could click move and it would select their character Similarly, someone could click act, and it would select their character and select like an probably their main hand item. But it would put them into act mode either way, even if they didn't have any items. So thinking about doing that. And then when that kind of completes our little, here's your button cluster, your bottom right, like you can do things button cluster, I think. I might do it even like this too, with like I share the row and I just have like a move act pair of buttons or something. I also want to have a flipped version of this that's confirm. Instead of like end turn or something. I don't know. So you don't accidentally like end your turn when you've still got actions. Something like that. Hey, Nanigans. I don't even know how to say that, Rhiannon, but that sounds good. What are those? Happy Sunday, Nanigans. I feel honored that you're popping by on a weekend here. And a Sunday, no less. All right, let's figure out what we need to do to make it so that selecting the party manager stuff actually selects the character. Do I have signals for that? Character sheet added, character sheet opened, party tab opened. What is the difference? What is the difference between these? We're not actually using these signals. I should get rid of most of them. But it was just in case someone after the party manager is interested in character sheets, we could hook that up. Let's see. Let's see how this works. Popping on. Work on your game for a while. Nice. Yeah, no worries. My phone broke. I have to like set up my new phone today. I did it just in time, so like the old phone isn't totally broken. I gotta migrate it today. I'm not looking forward to doing that. Hopefully it's relatively painless. I'm terrified to see what kind of like crazy AI nonsense is in these new phones. My phone's not that old, but it is pre like AI and everything. I'm not looking forward to that switch today. But otherwise, I don't have a lot to do. I gotta cook. I gotta do some meal prep tonight. So I have some food for the week. But I'm gonna keep it simple. Bought some of that nice Trader Joe's pre-cooked chicken. Got some broccoli that I can just heat up as I need it. Love a good little microwave bowl of broccoli. You can just mix in with stuff. I think the only thing I actually need to cook tonight is some coconut rice. Which I love coconut rice. Rhiannon, this dish you made for breakfast is fried corn tortillas simmered in salsa verde. Cooked yours up with scrambled eggs, which is pretty standard. You didn't have refried beans to go with it. Otherwise, you would have made some. That's okay. I don't love refried beans. I like black beans. Occasionally, I like baked beans, but that's not appropriate for the kind of cuisine we're talking about. All right, so on roster tab pressed and on party button pressed. Party tab closed .emit. Party tab opened .emit. I don't even have, do I even have this signal? Does this signal even exist? Oh, it is. It does. All right, we'll use these. We'll use these. I don't know why there's a character sheet opened signal. I'm skeptical of this. What if I hide this? Does anything break? Yes. Okay, but we're not doing it. That's just like a way of... Okay, that's fine. We'll keep that around just in case we want it. So what we would need to do is we need to hook up the party tab closed And party tab opened. We need to hook those up, which we can do here. Hey, Sapphire, just a quick flyby. No worries. I appreciate it. I always get worried when I do an unscheduled stream. I know I told people I was going to do this, but I'm always worried. The first thing I think about, what about Sapphire's stream streak? So thanks for taking the time to fly by. I think we do need to add like a flyby channel redeem or something. I'm willing to do it. I'm not willing to put the work in right now, but I think that'd be funny. So people can do that. Are you a savory breakfast kind of person, Rhiannon? I need either just sweet or both sweet and savory. But my partner A doesn't eat breakfast and B only likes savory foods. So yeah, we really never have breakfast together. But I love a good breakfast. On Saturdays, I usually go to a diner and have some food. Are you gonna call out to the party manager? I think you have to. Yesterday, my power went out in the morning, so I went and had my breakfast, and I was like, man, I hope my power comes back online in time for me to commit my code so that I can go to this Godot meetup and actually work on my game. It worked out okay. Party manager, party tab, open.connect. Environment map on party tab. Excuse me. I need to put this in like a function. It's like connect environment map signals. So I can do this not just in Ready, but anytime I open a new map. That's why we have this environment manager, because the environment maps are like, excuse me, the environment maps are like hot swappable. There needs to be a manager who like handles that. And that's this thing's job. Oh, why did I only do those? Do all these. Let's just hide that. All right, now we actually need to go to the environment map and actually make these. Oh, interesting, Nanigans. Your partner likes sweet or savory, but not both. Fascinating. I like a good both. I like pancakes with like scrambled eggs and bacon or sausage or something. Oh, people are talking about barbecuing and like smoking meats. My dad is big on smoking meats. He's got one of those like pellet smokers that he can like leave on overnight. And it's just got a little actuator that like feeds pellets continuously. Good stuff. I love a good brisket. I had some barbecue brisket yesterday. It was so good. But I went to a proper like little barbecue joint for that. I know, I sound so indulgent. I'm like, oh, I go to a diner on, on Saturdays. I also went to a barbecue joint yesterday. It's one of the nice things about living in a city. There's a lot of food around. And some of it's pretty expensive, but not all of it. You just gotta know where to go. Roster tab. All right, so what we can do here, now that we've hooked these signals up, is we can do some selection. It's not fig by tile though, it would be fig by name, huh? What? What is happening? Fig selected. Invalid index type label for a base of type. What? Oh, dang it. How do you know what name? Oh, unit res. Unit res. And then this can just be this. All right, see you. See you, Sapphire. Incredible 155 stream streak. Sad. For me, it's a time thing. I'm bad. I like Godot Dash Pass and everything. My partner and I work too much. And it's just at the point where it's like a few days out of the week, I'm either gonna go pick something up or we're gonna get something delivered. There's just no way around it. I would like to cook more. But if I wasn't working 60 to 70 hours a week, I'd do more cooking. All right, this should solve our problem. What do you mean cursor map, by the way? Selected tiles. Oh, how do we know? We need to do fig selected dot character tile. There we go. Crash? Oh, duh. I need to actually get the thing. You just cook lazy meals instead. Yeah. I just started like cutting out meals mostly. Like I don't really eat a lunch anymore. I like a big breakfast and I like a big dinner. But for me nowadays, lunch is like an apple, like an apple with maybe some peanut butter. It's like how I've gotten around it. Okay. So if I do this, now you're unselected and I can't move you. And then if I select you here, now you're selected and I can move you. Okay. That's good. That's good. So what we really need to do now is like do movement constraints. And also probably hook it in so that we can actually preview the cost of moving. Or show what the cost of moving is or will be or whatever. Does a move count? Whoa, why did that undo? Oh, because I created a new branch. Right. Sick. Well, undo works great. Which is nice. Rhiannon, your partner does most of the meal planning. You do most of the cooking. Oh, that's interesting. You love to cook, so you do a mix of lazy and involved. And choose what you eat based on how tired you are at the end of the day. Funny. Shenanigans, you're brutal for skipping both a proper lunch and breakfast a lot of the time. Yeah, my partner doesn't usually eat until late in the day. He's usually not an eat early or even eat midday. She's like, I couldn't do it though. It's like the first thing I think about when I wake up is like breakfast. I'll sometimes wait because like I'll like roll out of bed and just start working, and then just find time to make a quick breakfast eventually. But yeah, breakfast is king for me. Rhiannon, you and your like breakfast Red Bull, crazy thing. I understand someone drinking a Red Bull because it's like late enough where it's like it's not coffee time anymore. I know someone who like makes cups of coffee at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, crazy. That's crazy. What am I doing? What are we pretending to work on? Movement. So what I want to do is I want to show a radius. I want to show a radius around the character of where they could move. That's what I want to do. First thing I probably should do is hook back up the like path tracer thing. It's fine. You don't have to like coffee. It's not like a rule. I do. But even I don't have coffee usually after breakfast. If I need something in the middle of the day, I'm having tea. Thank you very much. I think I could have tea all day. I think I could just go back to back like drinking cups of tea. Probably not just black tea, like I probably couldn't have that much caffeine. Hey, speak of the hydrate. Hey Nix, how's it going? This is water, by the way. Hey Arneo. Breakfast Red Bull ain't much worse than your breakfast Coke. Oh my lord. Breakfast Coke. Trying to switch it out to a drinkable yogurt. Ooh, that's nice. I used to do a lot, like the most. I used to like make granola and like have like granola with yogurt, like big bowls of granola with yogurt. Problem is that's not like an all year kind of breakfast. You can't really have that. I like strawberries and stuff, and strawberries are not an all year kind of thing. I wish I was willing to like branch out into like blueberries and raspberries and stuff, but even then, those aren't all year things. But I should go back to that. Yogurt's good. Granola's good. Fruits are good. I like mostly have toasts and like English muffins and stuff now, and it's just not good for me. Not good for me. I should go back to it. Maybe I will soon. Maybe I'll bake up some granola soon. That's one of the few things I'm not willing to buy in the store because they're just so expensive to get so little. And I'm like, what is this? This is like nuts and like oats. Like, why am I paying this much? One of the few times I like see all the components in that, and I'm like, I could do that. I don't usually scrutinize my food that way, but that's one of the only categories I do. All right, so what we need to do to try to get my head back on task here is we need to Go into the environment map. And what we need to do is we need to draw our path more often. I hid this because what we're not doing anymore is we're not doing it every frame. It used to just be plug and play. You'd give the path line a path and the path line would draw that path. Kind of want to do it differently. I'm also thinking about different ways to do it. Currently, the character stays in place and the arrow moves around. I kind of want to change it so that the character moves with the cursor and an arrow is drawn from their starting point. I kind of want to do it that way. It's kind of what I want to do. Sunday stream? Yeah, nice lazy Sunday stream. Rihanna, today's dinner is peanut butter sandwiches. But the peanut butter is going to have potato chips mixed in with warm brie and blackberry jam. That is wild. I'm not against a PB&J dinner. I'll have that with like a big cup of tea sometimes. You like your coffee, Nanigans? You've tried to like tea multiple times. It's not your cup of tea, you'd say? For me, it's my stomach. My stomach can't handle more than like my one big, which is usually very big, cup of coffee in the morning. At a certain point, it just feels like I'm pouring cement into my stomach. If I just keep drinking coffee throughout the day, I do like the occasional afternoon cold brew, but I live in San Francisco, so it's cold brew weather like 2 weeks out of the year. And I usually don't look at the weather report far enough ahead to make cold brew. I do have a coffee shop that makes those coffee ice cubes. Like, they make their ice cubes out of coffee, so your iced coffee doesn't get watered down. Genius. Genius. Oh, I am not a bubble tea person. Absolutely not. Choked to death on a ball of sugar. Nix, you've been working on your mod. Nice, nice. Brie and jam is good. Brie and jam is good. That's true. That's true. I just don't. I feel like peanut butter is a third wheel in that situation. All right. So this is how we used to do it. We would just set a path line, and then the path line thing would trace to it. Let's just start by basically doing this. So what we can do is we can just clear here. That's probably how we'll rewrite this. We'll just do a clear. So I can't say ID path, but I can say draw path, and then I can plug this in as a destination, I think. Oh, we also need a distance. Curious. Okay, so let's say variable ID path is an array of vector 2i and equals the result of this function. Oops. We're going to cheat here. Well, we're going to do this lazily for a second just to get it working. We're going to say, what does it expect first? Distance, then path? Okay. I'm going to change that. We're going to say path first and then steps. Convenient. So like how many steps along the path do we take? We'll say ID path and we'll just say ID path dot size, I think. For now, but this is a mechanism by which we can constrain the pathing. It's the first time you're trying it with peanut butter. Ooh. It sounds interesting. Brie, honey, and walnuts sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, I'm seeing this. So we got this. Yeah. What do we think? I don't love this. I kind of like it, but I don't know if this is the strongest. I was looking at Into the Breach, and Into the Breach does this the other way, where the character follows your cursor, and there's like an arrow that follows along with them. The thing is, I can't necessarily do that in this case. The arrow only works in every case if it's the final node, right? Because if it's not the final node, you can see we get to this elbow shape, and there just wouldn't be an arrow here. So maybe just for that sake, I will do this. Maybe we don't need the arrow, is maybe the lesson, though. I don't know. I guess the arrow isn't going to be in every case no matter what, because what if there's something here and we try to move here? I guess the thing would draw to here. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the arrow. I'm not 100% on it. I like the idea of the character following your cursor. But this is probably fine. And so what we need to do is we need to constrain this based on the character's movement. And what I want to do is I want to draw a range in which you could move. So that you can see. In the same way that we'll draw a range in which you can act. And we can just reuse the bounds layer for this, I think. That looks cool. Thanks, Nix. Yeah, I think the dash lines are just the right size. They're 1 square. So they help you implicitly count. It's kind of like a ruler, right? Yeah, I think I'll stick with this for now. I hate that, Nanigans. I hate when you got some kind of shader compilation error or something like that. That's just mysterious. You like the arrow, but you could also have like a transparent version of the character replace it. That's true. That's true. I could do that, couldn't I? That would probably be better. I like the arrow though. I don't know. I might change my mind once we see how actions work. Because for actions, I really do want, like, let's say you're attacking with your maul. I really do want your maul to, like, be under your cursor. So for consistency, I might end up doing that. But movement's a little differently, so maybe it makes sense to do it this way. I don't know. But the thing I want to do now is we look at the character's movement distance, and we draw, like, a bounce thing around where they could move to. Yeah, the semi-transparent character preview is a good idea. Good idea. It might look a little weird, but I guess even if it's semi-transparent, it has a black background, so it would be okay, probably. I don't know. It probably would be better to just move the cursor, or move the character with the cursor, and forget the arrow. The arrow's okay, but it's a little weird with the background sprites. I'm not going to do it right now, though. This is fine for right now. What I want to do is the bounce. For attacks, you're imagining comic book splash stars with words like pow and bonk. I don't know about that. We'll see. We will need to make it interesting. We'll need to do stuff to make it interesting. That's true. So we don't know the character sheet. So how are we going to get a character? So this is something I haven't solved. But we need to be able to get information out of the character. Out of the character sheet. And we need to get that information down here in the environment map layer. Unless we route it up. Unless we route it up. Like an approval process. And then the environment map thing is just telling us that we want to move here. So we could signal up the preview and then signal back down the commit of actually doing it. And that way we don't actually need to make the information available across these boundaries. We just do some signaling. That's okay, I guess. Guess that's okay. It'd be something like this. It would be like signal, preview, character, fig, move, moved. We would need to send the path. Pathing, path. Routed. Movement. Preview character movement, something like that. I don't think path does a word. I mean, I know it's technically a word, it just doesn't feel very great. Describes the action of creating a route or navigating a way through a terrain process. Yeah, actually, that's okay, maybe. So we can preview. And then, so we can preview this up. And then that's where we can take into consideration constraints around the character and everything. Oh, fuck. But what we want to do is we still want to show the bounds. We want to show the bounds. And that means sending more information down. Okay. How do I want to do this then? This is an option, but the back and forth, if it's just you preview it and then you signal it, and then you commit it, that's fine. That's like just go up, see if we can do it, get told back down that, yeah, we can. What's not going to work? It's not really going to work. I mean, are we just going to have a character manager that gives us information about the characters from anywhere? Is that just what we're going to do? Is that easier? Is that better and easier? Probably. Would be better to just do that. Yes. I think that would be better. Then we can just ask what we want. And we can just ask whatever information we want, and we can get it back. Let's do that. That seems fine. We're going to create a character manager script. It's going to be a global. I don't love this global thing, but if we have questions, like we have card managers, so we can be like, what card is this? Like we can ask about the card catalog and stuff. Information that's hard to get to. Same with the save manager. Like at a certain point, I don't love singletons, but you know, at a certain point, it's okay. At a certain point, there's worse things that you could do. Where's my script? There it is. Does it really matter what order? Not really. You got nicer looking AO on your tiles now in general, Nanigans? Nice. You're specifically coming up with a solution for the inset tiles because the whole stencil buffer causing issues with the auto shader passes. Nice. Arneo, you've not thought about a save manager at all yet? You're just hoping that figuring that out won't be super difficult after the fact? It depends. Depends. We did it. We did it now because we needed undo redo. And we realized that undo redo is basically save load, just without a write to the disk. So we just wrote it, and we wrote it early because, you know, that was a core part of the gameplay. But yeah, otherwise, I don't think it's the most important thing early on. Unless it has implications for the architecture of everything you do, I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, we need everything to support serialize and deserialize functions. Okay, so what are we going to do here? I guess we'll have, what we're going to do is we're going to have access to the party manager. This is going to be just like an out of tree shortcut to getting information about characters. So we can be like, how much can this character move? Okay, we'll find out. So we'll probably give it like a function like get character sheet. Character name. Character fig. So it's really just a translation process from getting from the character sheet to the figure and then back. That's really what it's probably going to be. Really, just for us. Just an easy way to do that. Return. How do we know? How do we know? How do we know? Well, for right now, it's just for party members. Eventually, it'll also be for opposition members. For right now, we can just say party manager dot get. Well, we can say party manager dot character sheet by name. For now, we can do this. It's going to be more complicated in the future. What we would really want to do is make sure that the character sheet by name and the character sheet by tile match. Because if it doesn't, something has happened. We'll also have get character fig. Here we'll say oh shoot, are we getting a raid? It looks like it. Pebble is a legend, truly. What do I call this? Fig by name. Is that a label? Yeah, it's a label. How's it going, Pebble? How's the raid? Or how's the stream? What have you been up to? This is Party Wipe, a roguelike deck builder where you draft an RPG party. Sorry, I was writing something up here. Welcome, Raiders. Exactly. How's things? Happy Sunday. But yeah, we're working on a little roguelike deck builder where your deck is your RPG party. So you've got your characters and your equipment, and you battle out on this little turn-based map. We're working on movement right now. That's why we're just stuck in move mode, I guess. But yeah, you've got equipment. You've got abilities. Right, not any right now. These are all locked for a level 1 character, but that's what we're working on. We've been working on this for what, 6 weeks, about something like that. Looks dope. Nice. You went well. You did some hack the box machines. Ooh, what's that? That sounds cool. Let me give you that shout out here. Well, thank you for the raid. If you got to run, I understand. Yeah, right now we're just getting some information across from these character sheets back down to the battle map. There's a bit of a disconnect between the two. They're very different, separate domains, so we're just writing a little bit of glue so that I can do things like know how far this character can move. Because I want to draw a boundary around them that they can move. That's what we're doing right now. Yeah, we're definitely going to do move and act buttons, I realize. Because if you click this, they're in move mode by default. Probably unless your move is 0, and then in which case you're probably in action mode by default. And then we'd probably switch to action mode if we open this. And so, yeah, I think it would be good to just have a button or 2 buttons down here, one for move and one for action. And then we can swap to them kind of like the way we do this with the menu and the undo. The move probably won't have an icon, but the act will probably make up for the fact that act is shorter by adding a icon of the thing that you have equipped. Even though you'll be able to see it over here, it'll probably be good if you also see it there. I think that's consistent with, like, you don't really do anything with these. Like, these aren't your action trigger things. All of your interactables are down here in this corner. I think that's consistent with what we got going on. Whoop. But yeah, right now we just made a little character manager. So now everyone needs to register themselves with the character manager. This is like a really cheap way to do this, but and doing this a different way would be so much more complicated. So we're just gonna do this, and we'll be okay with it. This probably shouldn't be here. This probably should only be down here somewhere. But where? Here it is. No, that's not it. Deserialize. Character sheet open. Character sheet close. Could it just be here? Will that work? Should be fine, right? I guess I can't really test it because I don't have more than one character. I guess if this is selected, we should really go out of move mode. Yeah. let's add those back as things in the character sheet. They're like statuses of like is moving or is acting. Or move mode or something. Yeah, is moving or is acting is kind of what we want. And so what we want to do is we want to go back to this environment map. Oops. Go back here. So now we can get the character information anywhere, and that should help. That should help. I'll just say path. Forget ID path. We don't care that it's an ID path. That's like an implementation detail. So what we want to do is we want to say if fig selected and we want to say character manager dot get character sheet fig selected dot character sheet. Here what we can do is we can get it here variable. Well, I guess we don't actually know that. What we would do is we would say if fig selected, and we'll nest this is what we'll do. We'll say variable character sheet. And now we'll say if character sheet dot is moving, then we'll do this. So this isn't gonna draw the line now, but that's because I don't think we're setting character sheet dot is moving anywhere. Oh, that's so wrong. Why is that? Why is that happening? That's very wrong. Where's that card dragged? If not marks dot is empty. The character name, string name, and fig by name. If marks dot has no. Return. Oh, we're doing this every time. Why? Why? We can just say if card, so we are going to use card. If card marks, interesting. If not marks is empty, return. So marks is empty. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say if card dot card data dot card data is a hero card res, then we can do this. Eventually it'll be if it's a hero card res and we're in like the deployment state, but for right now this is fine. Because yeah, we were drawing the deployment. Yeah, we were drawing the deployment area even though we had equipment cards selected. We only want to do that if it's a character that's not on the board yet. And technically we're in the deployment phase, but I'm not going to worry about that part. Crash. All right. Character sheet. Character sheet. Get character sheet. Fig selected. Character sheet. Fig selected. Oh wait, what am I talking about? Get character sheet. We use the. We just send the character sheet. The fig. We don't need to. That's silly. That was silly of me. Try that. Okay, excellent. So when a character is selected, we need to do something. Character fig selected. Someone is listening to this, right? Someone? Are you listening for this? on character big selected. Yeah, you are. Okay. Selected character, blah, 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 blah. Character sheet dot moving. For right now, we're just going to say character. How do I know which selected character is what we'll say? Character big selected character. Why aren't we reassigning this? We'd say selected character equals. So we could say character sheet by name, character fig dot character name, but what we should really do is we should say character manager dot get character sheet. And then here we would say, well, let's actually get the character sheet first, right? Variable. Oh, we could just say selected character. You am? You're listening to this? I'm sorry, did I tell someone to listen? I was probably talking to the computer. Oh, is it because this makes the selection? Yes, that's why. The doy. So we can just plug this in directly, and now we can deal with selected character. So we can say selected character dot is moving equals true. And then we can actually undo this. We can say if selected character, we can say selected character dot is moving equals false. And we'll also say selected character dot is acting is also false. Oh, I was asking if I had listeners bound to some sort of emitter. Yeah, sorry. That's I'm gonna call that streamer context rot, which occurs very quickly. Very quickly. And it's made worse when chat is going super weird. Okay, so now movement is engaged by default, which is great. There are times where we won't want that to happen. There are times where we want to engage action, like if I play Chipped Mall, for example. So yeah, now we're not in moving mode because we happen to select the character by playing a card. So now we would be in what I would call is acting. So maybe I should actually look for that and set that. See where that's being, where I would want to set that. That's probably on card token spent. So if we go to on card token spent, so if we open the character sheet, that's then. Otherwise, if it's an equipment piece like this, this is an ambiguous case. This is an ambiguous case. We won't do anything there. But in this case, what we can do is we can say selected care dot is acting equals true. Actually, we don't want to really do this here. What we'd want to do is we'd want to go into the add equip card, and we would want to know if the equip card has an action. That's what we would want to do. No, we would want to know something like, go down here. Here we would want to say something like selected character dot is acting equals card res. Right? Card res. We want to say something like card res dot has action. Something like that. Selected care is not. Oh, it wouldn't be selected care. It would just be is acting. So currently there is no has action property, so let's add that. Claude is 1 million token context. How much do you have? I'd probably say like 1.5. Not million, just 1.5. Your boss wants you to start using Claude at work. Gross. My boss is using Claude at work. Hasn't made me do it yet, but luckily my job is hyper focused on like compliance and accuracy and stuff like that, and so like they haven't no one's thought of something that I could do with it that wouldn't just be more work verifying than it would be to generate, but at some point I feel like someone is going to change their mind about that. Other people are already using it for stuff. But yeah, luckily I'm in HR. In HR you really have to show your work, so you can't just vibe stuff out. Cuz you might have to prove that you didn't use a discriminatory process to arrive at a decision, you know, right? AI recruiting services are getting sued left and right for discriminatory behavior. And the companies that use them are being held liable. So I'm lucky. I'm a little insulated for now, but we'll see how long that lasts. We're only a couple of court rulings away, court precedents away from that being commonplace. Okay, so now we're gonna need to add this field to our card res. You know what we're also probably going to have is we're probably going to have reactions. I think it'd be cool to have equipment that reacts to things happening. So it's not like a proactive, like you grab the thing and do this, but it would be cool to have equipment that's like, maybe you have like a necklace that's like, anytime a character dies, gain +1 attack or something like that for the remainder of the battle or something. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff that we could do there that I think would be interesting. You mean you can't just arbitrarily reprimand fire or give somebody a raise based on vibes? I mean, no. Arneo, I feel you, and I mean, I don't have a choice. Anytime I Google search something, I get an AI overview, and the worst part is I'm starting to read the responses. I'm starting to read the overview and believe what it says, and it's not good. Convenience is the most, you know, people always say absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think it's convenience really that corrupts. I think convenience corrupts, and absolute convenience corrupts absolutely. Convenience is really the villain here. It's too easy to just get an answer, and if you don't really care about the quality of the answer, sometimes that's just enough, and it's really dangerous. It's really bad. Really bad, really dangerous. Really not okay. Very scary. Absolute power is convenience for the person in power. Pretty much, that's true. That's true. That can be true. All right. Let's see if I broke anything. Okay, so that works. Playing them does not put them into move mode. That's maybe a mistake, but that's actually probably okay because normally when you play a character, you aren't going to be able to move them immediately. So that's actually probably correct behavior. And then same thing. So if I click them, I'm in move mode. But if I play a card, I'm not in move mode. I'm in this mode. I'm probably not in act mode either, though, because none of my equipment has, quote unquote, has actions. So we're going to need to hook this part up too, because this should also, clicking this should also switch me into action mode if there's an action associated with the card. This isn't a button though. I don't know if I want this to be a button. I wonder if I want to have pass be like another version of this. So it says act if you have an action. Maybe it says pass if you don't. I don't know. What if you have a reaction? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with the corner thing. I thought of it as like a button that you could use to like get into action mode, but none of the other ones here do that. And I kind of like the idea of putting it down here as a proper menu UI thing to make it clear that that's how you do that, but whatever. Let's get back to working on movement. Back to working on movement. Use instead of act. Maybe use. Use could be a good word for disposable things, right? Because, like, if you eat, like, we have potions and we have food items on here. And, like, when you use a food item, that consumes it. And, like, it'll just get discarded back into your hand or into your deck, probably, right? But maybe use is a good word for an action that consumes something. So you're not surprised that it's like back in your disc, that you discard it when you use it. Because you can't just like, you know, get a piece of food and then just use it over and over and over again. Your convenience will win, Rhiannon, it will. It will. Convenience always wins. Yeah, I think use is good for something that's consumed. I'm really interested in this idea of this knight ability called like Knight's Move that lets you move, but it only lets you do a Knight's Move. And maybe it lets you like bypass, maybe it lets you bypass like things that are blocking you. I think that'd be a really cool action. So you can get your knight really where they want to be. Starting to think of abilities, because I need to come up with a bunch of abilities really quickly for these characters. We are running out of time. My first playtest is in like a month. Yeah, it's in like basically a month. I need to stop getting distracted by things like serialization. And I need to start working towards this minimum viable product here. And we're trying. That's what we're trying to do. Let's do this bound. Let's do this bound R movement thing. How do I do that here? So what I'm doing here is we are just iterating. Where are we doing that? I need to move this stuff down to like auto tile boundaries, like draw boundaries or something. I also don't love that I have bound tiles and bounded tiles, and they mean different things. I'm going to deal with that later. So what we can do is we can set... all we need to do is set the members of this bound tiles array, and that will let us... Hey, Sigma. How's it going? Happy Sunday. Welcome back. How are you doing? How's your weekend going? All right, so what we're going to do is when we are in this part of the code, here we go. So path. So we get the path. What we need to do is we need to get our character sheet as well. Okay, no, we have our character sheet. We have our path. What we want to do... we want to use the min. Actually, how will draw path work? For IDX in range steps. So steps, so I do need to constrain steps. Actually, let's do it here so I don't hate myself. So we'll take the minimum of size and steps. That way I don't have to constrain my inputs. You're in an internship? No, that sounds great. It's hard to even get internships nowadays, so that's awesome. I hope it was good. Yeah, Arnio, I think you're confusing convenience for the individual with convenience for society. For society, it's not convenient at all. Even for companies, it's not very convenient. But the problem is there's a huge class of people that don't really care about the quality of their work. They just need a solution now. It's yet another aspect of the race to the bottom, which has been, you know, the theme of all activity for, like, you know, a long time. It's just another step on that path. It's bad. Nanigans, you got a clean commit. Nice, nice. Get back to the household responsibilities. Good luck. Good luck. Sig Mohammed. Have you changed your name since you were here before? How's it going? Your username's funny. It's a funny mashup. Yeah, I hope you're having a good summer. All right, so what are we doing? We are telling that what to bound. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a path. We're going to do both. Oh, you know what? You know what? What branch are we on? If map zone has cursor point and not was card dropped. This isn't exactly right. This isn't exactly right. But it's close, so we're going to start with this. Also, we're just going to put this up here so we don't forget. Actually, path grid ID, get ID path, big selected, character tile, cursor map. We can actually, let's get rid of these lines and let's actually put these down in the function. So we're going to do this first. So we just need to make it so our from ID is not solid. And then we'll say variable path. We can say ID path here. Array vector 2i equals this. Also, wait, set point solid. Set point solid. Oh, I made this function. Set cell ID 0 solid. Let's skip this part. So let's say, let's do it like this. This will be a temporary one, which is better. And then we're going to return ID path. And then here we're going to do the opposite. Oh, you're making YouTube videos sometimes? Nice. Yeah, it's good. I think it's funny. It sounds youthful. Man, and one of the Laravel maintainers was streaming today. You asked them how much code they write manually. They said none. They review it all personally, but Claude writes it all. See, that's a slippery slope. Because they're leveraging their expertise and judgment. But what happens when your expertise degrades, right? What happens when you get too comfortable? Because convenience breeds comfort. And eventually you'll get so comfortable that you're like, meh, it's good enough. Yeah. That's dangerous. This is the highest, we're at the highest point where people will be able to get the most out of doing that and suffer the fewest consequences. It'll just get worse over time, right? It'll just get a lot worse. Because yeah, it doesn't, these automated systems don't replace judgment. And to be able to make good judgment, you need expertise. And they actually actively degrade your expertise. And if you're a senior, yeah, it'll take a long time for your expertise to get degraded to the point where you're making serious mistakes that you can't deal with. But like, what about the juniors? The juniors are basically totally fucked, right? No, I get it. I get it that it's like a little clickbaity kind of name, Mohammed. That's what it takes on YouTube. You know, to get the clicks, you gotta bait them. All right, so this handles the little trick where we need to like make sure that the point that our starting point is not solid, even though it is solid because there's someone there. So we've lowered that little trick down here because it's an implementation detail, and we can remove it from our call, our like API call up here. We still want to do it sometimes, but not always. So what we're going to do here is we are going to say, where do I do that? I do that somewhere down here. Where do I actually do the boundary setting? Here? That's if we set based on a rect2i. So for this, what we're going to do is we'll probably just say for cell and get used cells or something. That's not good. That's not a good way to do it. What we could do is we could say... We could iterate through map zone. But I don't think rect2i has an iterator, which is unfortunate. Rect2i is just the worst. So yeah, it doesn't have an iterator, so we're probably going to need to do the same thing we do down here. I really don't like this script. I've written this script very, very poorly. Here we go. That's what we want. We're going to do... I'm going to make this a function. Maybe. Actually, in this case, maybe I won't. But what I do want to do is something like... It's like mark tiles within... whatever. We're going to do this as a one-off. We're going to do this as a one-off. We're going to see what it looks like, and we'll change it if we like. If we want. We're going to say bound tiles.clear. And then instead of depth zone, we're going to use map zone. So say map zone. I'm not familiar with that reference, Arneo. I mean, there's an extent to which it's overblown. Like, people, there were doomsayers about microwaves. There were doomsayers about calculators. My dad still compares AI to calculators, and I'm like, it is not the same. It is not the same thing. But history is the most dangerous teacher. History encourages you to think that everything that's happening has happened before, which is sometimes very true. Sometimes it's not. That's an interesting approach, Mohammed. I would go the opposite route. I would say practice is the most important. There's a thing called praxis, call it Praxis. Is that how they spell praxis? That's praxis, right? Praxis is like this meeting point of theory and practice. That's really what you need. You need both. You can't just only study. If you only study or you only practice, your learning is suboptimal. If you combine the two, that's optimal learning. I would encourage you to do both. To both read and study, and then also try to put that into practice, your learning and theory. You'll find the combination is very strong. Oh, you'll get that mindset. As you get older, you'll just think everything that's happening is something that's happened before. And sometimes you'll be right, and sometimes you'll be wrong. To be fair, people would probably do better to, on the whole, listen to history more. But it's still a dangerous, and that's not history. It's experience is a dangerous teacher because it causes you to misidentify situations sometimes. So it's a double-edged sword. All right, so what do we do here? Here we say if, so what we need is a distance from the character sheet's position. So what we would say is if vector 2i xy minus fig selected I need to do this with Manhattan distance, don't I? This needs to be Manhattan distance. We need x minus fig selected dot character tile dot x plus y minus fig selected. Here, let's just say offset variable offset, or let's say distance. X minus fig selected dot character tile dot x y minus fig selected dot character tile dot y. Say offset. This will just be an int. Let's do this as an int. This needs to be the absolute value of this, right? Here, I'm going to do this a little more easily. dx. How do you do that in GDScript? We need the absolute of this. There we go. GDScript makes me write so many more, declare so many more variables than I would otherwise, just because of how little space I have left and right. Yeah, I think you're onto it, Rhiannon. Not getting stable answers for not getting stable outputs for stable inputs is definitely a curse. It's definitely a huge, huge obstacle. That was what blows me away about AI search, is they don't seem to actually cache responses. So you're like using all these resources every time you ask something, regardless of how common. I'm sure they're implementing that sort of thing now, just because compute is getting so expensive. Okay, excuse me. Say dist. Yeah, whatever. Actually, what we can do is we can say if dx plus dy is greater than no, what do? We say if dx plus dy is greater than character sheet dot move value. Actually, it's if it's less than or equal to move value, we add this. And then here, what we do is we say get ID path from here to here, and then draw an ID path from here to there with character sheet dot move value. This should do it for us. It's unfortunate that it's going to be doing this every single frame, but we can add something there to prevent it. Practice is hard. That's why if you can only do one of them, practice is better than just theory. If you can only do one. All right, so now if I'm in movement, hey, that actually works. Right? 1, 2, 3. The arrow isn't rendering correctly, which is interesting. Why is that? It's also not resetting. This is kind of what we want. Kinda. This isn't quite right. There's something weird happening. No, this is pretty close to being right. This is wrong. Whatever's going on here. There's a failure with the auto tiler in exactly this case. That's going to be fun to dig into. Okay, this needs to reset when we unselect the character. And then why does I do love that the way it flips over when you're in versus out. I do love that. But why does the arrow not render? I actually don't understand why that would happen. 1, 2, 3. Oh, do you not? Okay, 1. So that's 1, 2, 3. Move value is 3. Oh, is this max? Is there, or is that exclusive? I think there's an exclusive problem. Yeah, there is. I was like, is this a drawing thing? No, it's here in our draw path. Pathline layer. Pathline. Yeah, so this needs to be size or steps plus 1. That's why. Yeah, it is the game. Okay, the arrow is fine. I need to figure out why the auto tiler is misinterpreting this corner. So whose job is this? So it's this box needs to look at its negative y, negative x neighbor is mishandling that situation. This is close to what I want. Close to it. I don't know if it'd be better to just have a tint that we apply instead, but I kind of like not using a tint. I think I kind of prefer this sort of a thing. I maybe need something here in the corner, even just like a dot. I think I need something on the inside. I think it looks a little weird without. I think it looks a little too discontinuous without the dot. Okay. Auto Tyler, why have you failed me? Also, whose job is it to do the auto tiling? Here it is. All right. Bound tiles has... So -1, is behaving weirdly. It's probably not an issue with the calculation. It's probably an issue with... It's probably just an issue with the sprite sheet itself, which will be fun to dig into. The sprite sheet is insane. Who are you asking about? Sounds like you're asking about Mr. Magoo. What's this? That's the PNG file. Okay, this is a nightmare to look at, but... So what we're interested in is in this case. This case is behaving incorrectly. That looks good. It's actually... maybe this case that's behaving incorrectly. One of these cases is wrong. Oh! Right there. That's it. It's crazy that it's possible to spot this, but this is organized pretty well. That fixes that. And then the only real question is, do I want to add something for the corners? So like, instead of having this not be anything, what if it was like... it's like this instead. That's 6. It's 4. So 4 would also be like this. I don't really want to do something that big. I don't know. I actually don't know. Do I also have that problem here? Okay, so is that not a problem with the out of bounds? Is that just the... oh, also, that's probably duplicated across multiple areas. But maybe not, because I did do this by hand. That could have been just a mistake I made once. It looks like a mistake I just made once. Now I need to copy these out, though. Oh. No, this is in. So now if I do this, okay, that's gone now. But yeah, I don't know. Should I add something for the inner? Because you'll notice there's like a bit of a gap for an inner corner. I don't really want to put anything there, but I might. It looks a little weird not to. I'm avoiding doing a kind of like wash or like a semi-transparent like layer for these. I like the outlines, but I think that means I really do need to make the outline feel continuous. So let's try that, I guess. But how am I going to apply that correctly is the real question. So it's for cases like this. We'll try something. We'll try some stuff. Stream is going to become very unwatchable as I do this. Because it's pretty hard to navigate what's going on in here. Unless you're really familiar with it. What I need is I need to see the sides. There we go. So what I'm thinking of is maybe something like... I'm actually not quite sure what case we're talking about. We're talking about the case of an inner corner. An inside corner. So where is that here? I did this all in one day, which is probably how you need to do something like that because it's really hard to maintain the context. You and your damn endless tile sheets. Look, I have a specific set of skills. All right, so this is a square. Let's figure this one out first. So this is a square that has a neighbor here, here, and here. And the issue is we need some little bit on the corner. And then this is similarly one here. Okay, I think I can figure this out then. So it's like... I want to find a couple of these. Yeah, this is one of them. So this is one of the inside corners. And so I think what I want to do is try to do something like this. If I did something like that. Do we not actually run into that condition? Oh no, we don't, because these are way more complicated than that. So the problem is that we need cooperation from both sides, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm kind of okay with it, actually. I think it's maybe too much. I really like my outline thing, but maybe just a solid color would be better. I think there's too much going on. I do like my little arrow line things, but I think there might be just too much happening. We might be better served by just doing solid blocks of color. Unfortunately. I think this is too busy, which is a shame because I made that hole. I think we can still use it in some cases, but I don't know if I like this for like proximity stuff of like showing me where I can move or... Oh, this is also a problem. Why is this happening? Okay, yeah, maybe the arrow is not going to last very long. Yeah, this feels like too much. I should try this again with just solid colors. See how that feels. But I think it's okay for like the deployment areas. I think it's okay for this. I just think it looks weird when it's like... And I think it's also okay for like when we're playing stuff. But yeah, I think if I'm describing a non-rectangular area, I think it's just too busy. It's too much against the background. So let's do this simply. Let's do this really simply. Also, did I make a change here? I did, didn't I? Where is it? Can I just go back? Yeah, right there. Okay. This is really stupid, but I can do this with... Oh, actually, we can do this more easily. I should be able to do this with... This needs to be a different... I don't want to do it with the path grid tile set, because the path grid tile set's really simple. Although it's really just yellow and orange. I think we're just going to color it over. The solid block of color. Should be easy to do. Does mean we need to do this in a different tile set, though. This is stupid. I'm just going to make a couple of blocks here. What size are they going to be? I guess 16 by 16 should be fine. And will we do the... Let's just do it like this. This is really stupid. We'll call it fill tile atlas or something. And then we just need to make another one of these. I don't want another tile map layer, but we're doing it. I need to figure out how to use fewer of these. It's just easier if we have a bunch of them. I'm gonna call this like... Call this something. Call this like call it like tile fill layer. Now we need to set up its tile set. Probably shouldn't be in here, but it is. I think. Yeah, there it is. It's just one tile right now. And then this, we want to make it a modulate, is what we want to do. We want a pretty minimal modulate here. Yeah, that's maybe too minimal. Let's just say 64. This needs to be under the figures, actually. So these are going to go here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say tile fill layer, and we'll say dot set cell. We'll say this, and we'll say 0. And we'll say vector 2i dot 0. We're just going to see if it feels better for this to be a solid thing instead of this kind of thing, my outline thing. My bounded tiles thing. Yeah, this is better, huh? Oh, this does need to maybe be over the... maybe not. Yeah, this is just better, huh? This is just strictly better. I do think we should do the thing where we should preview the tile character. The character should move with the cursor, I think. Probably get rid of the arrow. This is behaving weirdly. I don't know why the arrow is not terminating here. It should. What that tells me is that the draw thing, it's not drawing, but it's like picking the tile based on the full path, even if we can only partly path. We also need to reset this when we unselect. We need to reset this in a lot of cases. Where's my clear all outlines thing? This will work. And then we'll have like the red version for attacks. Attacks will get like a red fill, and move will get like a yellow fill. Well, it moves with the character. That's good. That's good. What happens if I do this? Oh, it still just goes wherever. It's not, we don't constrain the movement yet, but that's okay. It's okay. We're getting there. First step is to have things move around. Then next step is to have things act. And that combination is kind of that's kind of the thing. We need it to be dynamic. Like we need to start taking movement points from the character when we move, and then refilling them when we end the turn. What if I start undoing things? Yeah, it shouldn't matter. Well, at least it undoes itself when we unselect now. That's good. It also undoes itself when we're not in... This I'm less sure about. The whole, like, just because your mouse cursor isn't on the map Do we not want to show this? I think this fill is maybe a little too strong as well. That was weird. Looks good. You like the movement range indicator? Yeah, we were using the bounded tile outline, and it felt like it was too much detail. So we switched to a solid color, and the solid color is probably just better. I think it might be too strong, but maybe not. Actually, what it should probably be is it should probably be under... It can't be underneath these things. I could put it underneath, but I would need to change some things. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't need to be underneath. It could just be more transparent. Yeah. We'll do half. It doesn't need to be super strong, right? Yeah, like this is probably fine. This might be hard to see if the room is bright or something. So like this is maybe too little. But I don't know. Hey, Progsy, how's it going? Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. Yeah, I also don't love that it's not the character covers it up, but I understand why the character covers it up. We could still probably... I would need to do some things. I would need to change some things to fix that. What we could do is we could stop... So all of these sprites have a black background fill. And what I could do is I could remove the fill so that they're all transparent where they're not, you know, a color. And then I could do things like I could have those fill colors underneath the sprites. We'd need to do a few other things. Like we'd need to, when you moved a character with a tile, we need to actually hide the cell on the environment map, because right now we just don't care because the character has a black background, so it just overwrites. But we'll have to decide how to do that, what we're going to do. 7 a.m., you're going to be going to sleep. Oof. Give you that shout out so you can get out of here and go to sleep. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate you. Yeah, we're working on movement of our characters. We haven't really... It's not really following any rules. Shot caller, is that a tile set that you made? Nope. We are using the assets, all the sprites. I mean, the arrows and the UI and stuff is stuff I made, but the sprites are from an asset pack called Pixel-like 2. How's it going? Happy Sunday. Yeah, I think I want the character moves with the cursor. And I think I'm going to take the arrow away. I think the arrow will draw from your origin. And maybe we do like a semi-transparent version of the character. That also is good. I think that's what Into the Breach does. I don't know yet, though. We do need to start constraining the movement. Because right now we can move anywhere. Even where we can't reach. It is still weird what the arrow is doing. I want to look into that, because that really shouldn't be happening. Draw path. Atlas chords. Atlas key. Stylus key. Last direction. Last direction. Oh, shit. Next direction. It's next direction. It knows where it goes next. It knows where it's going next. That's why. That's why it's doing that. I don't know how I'm going to fix that, actually. Have a nice stream. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're heading into ads. I'm going to take a quick break. This will be our last ad break. When the ads start, I'm going to take a quick bio break. I drank too much coffee this morning. Yeah, we'll work on something. Maybe we'll work on connecting up the movement cost to the character. I kind of want to fix this draw path thing. Finalize how we're going to do this. I kind of want to have an underlay. I kind of want this to be an underlay, but to do that, I have to change how the sprites are set up. Which is actually not that hard to do. I think I might do that. Because I would prefer an underlay to an overlay. Gonna continue lurking. No worries. Thanks, Rhiannon. Appreciate you. I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out this weekend. BRB. All right, we're back. Thanks for hanging out. Node orders Z index. That doesn't make a ton of sense in the case of a tile set. You can control cells, individual Z layers, but that's like kind of whack. No, because we want this tile set is such that you don't actually want to layer things over each other because the negative space is heavily used. So like if we look at our characters, you look at like our sprites here. This is the ace file, right? Yeah. The negative space is heavily used. So like if I got rid of the background, right? So we use the black background so that they have definition. And so I like the idea of the underlay, but the underlay would basically replace the background. But it does mean when we go into a situation where we have like, you know, this map, if you've got your environment map and you place a character over the environment map, we'll need to, right now it's fine because every sprite has a black background. So they just are just shown over. They just block out whatever's underneath them. But if we go to this transparent thing so that we can do our own underlay, we'll need to actively make sure that there's only one thing per tile rendering. It's not a problem. It's just not what we have set up currently. But that's pretty easy to sort out. We could just start re-exporting our files. And what we could do is we could make the clear color, the rendering clear color. We could just make that black. That should be fine. Where's the environmental clear color? Clear. Default clear color. Oh, it's already black. Oh yeah, because I'm using that for like the background. So yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. Is I'm probably going to re-export the sprites without their backgrounds. I already at least set it up so that their backgrounds are we can turn them off. I foresaw that this might be a thing that we did, so I at least set them up in such a way that we could. That might be what we do. That might be what we do here. Just so we're in a good place. It'd be quite a bit of work because there's a lot of these, but we don't need to do them all right now. We can just do them as we need them. So we can start with our human sprite atlas thing here. We can undo this. There are, there's other places that we are depending on this. So whatever, let's figure out where those are. We're just gonna go with it. We'll start with these, and then we'll do the environment next. Because there's going to be a bunch of unexpected effects of doing this. Like, I think the cards are going to all look weird now. Where's our knight card? Okay, looks okay on the card. So the card takes that into consideration. So yeah, now you can see how the character is being rendered over the background now. So what we need to do is hide that. We need to like hide the background when we place the character. The cards seem okay. It seems like I did design the cards in such a way that they don't presume that the characters have black backgrounds, and that is good. But yeah, now we need to sort out the environment. Okay, so now you can see we have an underlay of the yellow. So the yellow is unbroken now. I do kind of want to move the character with the cursor when we do this. Ooh, we we have a sprite padding problem here. You can kind of see, well, maybe you can't, but I can see a line appear. That means that if we go to the tile set for one of these, where's this tile set? Oh, it's in the path line. Path line, yeah, this tile set is not set up correctly. This should say use texture padding on, yeah. We've had to do our own texture padding. Because, yeah, unfortunately, there is bleed through if your sprites are right next to each other. Unfortunately, that's the case. Oh, you know what? You know what? Why we kind of maybe want to keep using the arrow is because we are telegraphing what the enemy is going to do. And it might be weird. It might be weird if you show where the character's gonna be, not where they are. Or worst case scenario, you show both. So maybe we do want to keep using the arrow. But if we're gonna do that, we need to constrain some stuff. The first thing we need to do is have the background reset itself, like clear whatever underlying tile is there. What you could argue, well, why aren't the characters tiles and you just put them in the tile spot? And the reason I didn't do that originally is I wanted the characters to be able to animate. Like, I wanted the character to be able to slide around if they did something. But maybe it would be better if we just set the character as a cell layer. That would actually get rid of our character figures and card tokens. They'd just be an entry in a piece of data somewhere. Is this gonna have perfect information? I'll slay the spire. Yeah, I'm thinking of it more like Into the Breach, but yes, both of those games do perfect information, and yes, so will I. The game will show you all of the actions that the enemies are gonna take before your next turn. So it's like, if it's like my character, then an enemy, then my character, then another one of my characters, it'll show you what that one enemy is going to do. And if there's two enemies before my next character goes, it'll show me what both of those enemies are going to do. So yeah, there's going to be an aspect of like, a lot of what you're trying to do is mitigate some bad things that the enemy is going to do if you don't intervene. That's definitely going to be one of the tactical considerations. So do we want to just write this stuff directly to the tile set? Instead of do the other thing, which is to have them be independent sprites. I'm kind of regretting the independent sprite thing with the character figure and everything like that. But I kind of like it because I would like to do things like smooth animations and moving and things like that. But if we have this transparent background thing, that's going to be harder. Maybe the transparent background thing is bad. Maybe it's bad. We could go about this a different way. We could have sprite sheets for each character that have the underlays they would want. That's kind of a crazy approach. Just to do an underlay. But it would be cleaner with animation. Would it though? Yeah, maybe it would be fine. Maybe we don't care. I don't think we're going to put them in the tile set, but that would be the easier thing to do. What we'll probably do is have like a little hide tile thing where we hide the tile while the character's there and then we restore the tile when they're gone. And that would just involve saving the state of the map. Probably fine. So if we do that and we also, so like if we clear the background from these, from the floor sprite here and the wall sprite, we can also see what the rest of this looks like. So let's go grab our floor sprite and our wall sprite. And like hide the background here. Oh, shoot. Now we can see the light mask. That is unintended. Is that true here too? Oh no, the light mask is hidden here for some reason. That's weird. I thought we had a 10% light mask on these characters. Okay, the light mask is unfortunate. I added a light mask to the background because the background stuff was so dark. I just wanted some more color. Because I like literally couldn't see the background when I was playing in a lit room. Like a fully lit room on my laptop. I like literally couldn't see the background. But it's unfortunate. We can get around this though. Get around this. We can just delete this and then use some magic lasso stuff, right? We just have to be more specific about it. Because yeah, for the background especially, we need the floor tiles to be brighter. This is really annoying to do though. Luckily, I don't have to do this very much. So I gotta set my new phone up after this. I gotta cook tonight. I don't know what else to do with my day. I want to play a game, but I can't think of what I want to play. I tried to get into Factorio again the other weekend, like a couple of weekends ago maybe. So I like that game and I wanted to play it, but it feels too much like work. It feels too much like what I do at work. Really annoying. And by what I do at work, I mean like making video games. Playing Factorio feels too much like making video games. Especially the programming side of it. It feels like I'm looking at constraints and designing systems and like... Just didn't want to do it. Oh. Feel like it's still not time for Slay the Spire 2. That's a good point. I don't know. I think I want to play Slay the Spire 1. Quite understand. Oh, because it's soft light, right? Soft light layer. think I needed to do that. Yeah, so that works. Okay, so who remembers how Slay the Spire 1 works? Can you beat the game on your first playthrough? I have definitely played Noida. I like Noida. Like, what happens when you defeat the heart on your first playthrough? It's something else, right? Like, there's like a special ending you can only get once you've already beaten the game a few times, right? Am I crazy? With the original Slay the Spire? There's something, right? Like, because normally you just, like, pass out when you, like, defeat the heart, right? But there's, like, there's an alternate ending you can get at some point, isn't there? Am I crazy? I don't really want to nuke my save and play Slay the Spire again just to figure out whether that's true. You can't beat the heart right away. You need to unlock Act 4 after you've done a few ascensions. Great. Yes, that's what I thought. Because my game is going to be like that. My game is going to be like that because you're going to unlock... You're going to unlock the ability for bosses to become part of your party. And I think the way it's going to work is that to advance further than the boss, you need to beat the game with that boss, either unlocked or in your party. I haven't decided which one yet. I haven't decided if I want to force you to play with that character or if I just want you to unlock it. I might force you to play with that character. But I was like, oh, well, people be like, that's not a roguelike anymore. And I'm like, I swear Slay the Spire does that, and no one says Slay the Spire is not a roguelike. Well, I'm sure some people do, but I'm like, people generally accept Slay the Spire as a roguelike, not a roguelite. So that's reassuring. Yeah, you have to unlock Act 4 after you've done some ascensions. Okay. Okay. That helps. That helps me. Is this not a soft light? Okay, it is. Okay, so now the floor is transparent. We've got to do the walls as well. I guess we don't technically need to, but I'm going to. Thanks for having an encyclopedic knowledge of that game. So I was like, I swear that's true, but I like couldn't remember the details of it. Okay, I really don't want to do this right now. So we're going to just turn the light mask off. We're also going to skip this song because someone just talks in the background throughout this entire song, and I can't right now. Oh, I didn't mean to downvote it, but that was probably for the best. Okay, so now the environment is transparent. And so now what we can do is we should be able to do an underlay. Are some of the classes going to appear as bosses? The idea of unlocking them after you beat them as a boss? Yeah, most of the... I'd say at least like half of them are going to do that. So I still got to deal with this whole... The ground is being rendered literally under the character. But... if I do this... So what I want to do now is I want to move this to be an underlay. And I can do that by just rearranging some things. Oh, wait, that is an underlay. Oh, no, it's not, because this is the fucking root node. Damn it. It's not going to work out. We're going to need to move the actual tile map layer out from the root node so that I can actually... I mean, maybe we could fuck around. Maybe this is a moment where Z indexing could actually do what we want. Z is relative. So we would have to uncheck Z as relative, and we'd have to Z index this higher. And then we'd also have to Z index these higher. Yeah, I think a lot of them are either going to be, you either fight them as bosses or they're part of like a quest chain that you have to complete. They're not all going to be bosses. But like the Lich is definitely going to be one of the bosses. The Witch is definitely going to be one of the bosses. The Warlock will probably be like a mid-boss. The Demon Knight is definitely going to be a boss. Plague Doctor will probably be a boss. So yeah, these will all probably be bosses. This will probably be a boss. This will probably be a boss. Any of them that are like kind of villainous will probably be bosses. And then the others will probably have quest lines associated with them. Like maybe the priest is the one who gives you the quest to defeat like the warlock or something. Or something, or I don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe like the priest is the one that tries to get you to like defeat the dungeon or something, and when you defeat the dungeon, you unlock the priest. I don't know. Something like that. We're gonna have anyone that's not one of the original 4 is gonna have some kind of quest or boss fight associated with them to unlock them. I think. Is this a lighter color than the space around it? I don't think so. No, it can't be. All right. Well, let's see how this Z index thing goes. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make the fill be underneath the sprites. I seemingly am not succeeding. This doesn't have to be an underlay. I just kind of want it to. Z is relative. It's relative to its parent. I have to turn that off of everything. Then, if that's default, that's annoying as shit. It's still not doing it, is it? Actually, maybe that is. Maybe that worked. Yeah, because that's the same purple. Okay, yeah, I like the underlay. I want to do it as an underlay. It's just a little more complicated to implement. But yeah, I like that. I like that better. We do still need to hide the tile underneath the characters. Which it's like, that's so stupid. But I might want the characters to slide over eventually, right? Like instead of just jump to their location. It would be way easier to do that as a sprite than it is to do it as a piece of the tile map. It's close to what I want here. That's close. We're getting close. What we need is this. So actually what I can do is I can set this back to 0. And then this I can actually just have this can be the exception. I can just make this a negative Z index. Then we don't have to take the tile map out of the base, out of the root node. I really didn't want to do that. Arguably, that would be smart, but I didn't want to do it, so I'm not going to. So now we need, now we need to copy, maybe as a ready function, we need to copy the content of the tile map. What's the best way to do that? Can I just get the data? Probably not the best way to do it. Get cell tile data. I can do it for each cell. need to modify it though. I've done that before. That's kind of a hacky way to do this stuff, but I've done it. Can I set a cell using its tile data? It seems like the answer is no. So the only way to set cell is to do this. So really all I need to do is record the source ID and the atlas chords, but really I just need to... No, I do need to set the source ID. Is that in the data? I can just get the data. I don't really want to make my own like data structure just to hold that information. But we do need to store what's in here because we need to hide it occasionally. So what's in tile data? A lot, but not what I want. Not what I actually need, which is just like the source ID and the atlas chords. That's annoying. Tile data object represents a single tile in a tile set, and yet it doesn't include any of the information about where in the tile set it is. Isn't that weird? Get. Isn't that weird? That seems weird. But whatever. So then what we need to do instead then is just store the data in kind of a funky way. So let's say something like can't say tile by tile. What I could say is set by tile. That's confusing. Here, we could say source ID by tile, and we could say atlas chords by tile. Do I actually use this? I do. Okay. No. Variable. We can say source ID by tile. Source by tile. Dictionary. Vector2i. Int. We'd also say variable atlas by tile. I have this weird feeling that I'm already doing this somewhere else, but that's fine. So what we're going to do in ready, we are going to go through, we are going to say for cell vector2i in get used cells. We'll say atlas by tile cell equals get atlas, get cell atlas chords for cell. Now we can say source by tile cell equals get source ID, get cell source ID for cell. And then this way we can just reset, we can hide the tile whenever we place a tile somewhere. So we would do that probably here. if not card token, yeah, what we would do is we would say, oh man, how do we know where the, how do, how do we know where we just came from? Well, I guess we know, because we know the card tokens tile. So we can say set cell atlas by tile card token tile. What we would say, here, let's say variable token tile vector 2i equals card token dot tile. Let's make this a little shorter. Not a lot shorter, but a little shorter. Token tile. That was the wrong one first. It needs to be source first. And then atlas. By tile. Token tile. So we do that. And then we set this. And we clear tile. What's the best way to clear a tile? Erase tile? Erase cell. Cursor map. So before we free this, do this. We also need to do this here. I think we only need to do this when we add the token, or I guess if we move the token, which I guess is what we're doing here. Kind of annoying I have to do this everywhere, but you know. This is the way I decided to structure this. It's not great. It's not great, but it works. Gotta do this part everywhere as well. We're also going to need to hide the character fig. Yeah, I'm regretting not doing this just as a tile cell. I'm regretting not recording characters just as tile cells. It would simplify so much. But I think I'm going to want them to be sprites. I think I'm going to want the characters to be sprites. I believe I'm going to want it, so we're going to try it. Okay, so yeah, this is working. You can see we're erasing the tile underneath the character when we place the character. And that works. And then, see, this is weird. So if we're going to do the arrow thing this way, we need to not show the base, the underneath, unless we are going to render it over everything, which I don't really want to do. We also need to handle this where you're outside of the bounds. We need to correctly manage that. So I think I need to be more careful about rendering the first tile and the last tile. But this is what I want in terms of the underlay. I think this is okay. I think this is okay for the underlay. have a similar action one for like attacks and stuff. I think I can make it stronger now that it's that's enough. All right. Couldn't quite get to visible progress today. That's okay. That's okay. Thanks, Arneo. Sometimes you spend a few weeks doing stuff that's not very visible, and then, you know, it all comes together. You'll get there. What am I going to do? I'm going to make this a little brighter, this layer. Now that it's an underlay, I think it can be a little brighter. Yeah, that's probably better. It still looks kind of whack, but it's not altering the color of the things. It looks like it is, but it's not. If you look carefully. I do need to rethink this arrow thing. I mean, I'm going to keep the arrow, but I need to rethink how we draw it. Because we need to not draw... We need to not draw the starting part. Because now we can see it, and it's causing problems. What happens if I start moving the character? It's not cleaning up. Oh, there it did. Oh, but that's because it's not clearing it. Okay, we need the movement. We need to add that logic to the movement. That's okay. Where is that? Where's that logic? We also need to add it somewhat to playing an item. So like if I play this shield. Oh, that's because the shield isn't clear. Right. Actually, this we might leave this way. I might actually leave this the way this works. What if I played another knight? Yeah, I'm actually going to leave this one. Whoa, wait, what happened? Oh, this character doesn't count as... Oh, because I ended the turn. Something weird just happened. And I didn't notice it. So if I play this... Bop. Yeah, that's right. So why was it weird when I did this? Oh, when I come back off of it. Oh, because of the token thing. Shit. Okay, I have regrets. I have some regrets. About the way that I've structured this. This is actually going to be kind of annoying. It would have been better if these were just parts of the tile map. I need a check before I clear that. I need a check that says something like... So when we free, what I need to do is I need a check here that says something like... if not character by tile, big by tile, dot has token tile, this one. I need to replace it with this. I started watching Merlin last night as like a memorial to Sam Neill. Watching his 1998 little mini series called Merlin. Very good. Rip Sam Neill. He was a real one. He was a Neil one. I feel like there's some other cases where we need to do this. Here's one. We've made a token somehow. Oh, these ones are actually fine. I've decided these are fine. Except here. We actually need this check here. So we need to do this. We also need to do this here. Anytime we're cleaning up a card token, we need to potentially do that. That should make it look more correct. Now if I do this, and now if I play this and move it off, yes, good. That is now behaving correctly. So I think I'll keep the black backgrounds for like items, like equipment. This one is fine because these perfectly overlap, so that's not a problem. And then what I need to do is I need to add logic to clean up. Before I move a character, I need to clean up a bit. I think this is too bright. I don't like this. I don't like this. Maybe it's the color. Maybe I'll make this white instead of yellow. I don't love the color. I don't love that mustard yellow. Try this one. See if we like a nice semi-transparent white color. Ooh, that's like worse. That's like significantly worse somehow. Am I gonna just go back to using a boundary marker? I don't want to, but I might. We just did so much stuff to make underlays possible. I think underlays are better, probably, than using the boundary marker for everything. Because otherwise we could use the boundary marker, which is this thing that shows up. It felt like it was too much at first. It felt like it was too much. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to do the classic streamer thing of, like, undoing a bunch of work I just did. I don't really need to undo that much to try it out, to go back and look at that one. We'll look at it again, is what we'll do instead. So what we'll do is set bound tiles instead of this thing. Where'd it go? I think it's here. Yeah, right here. So instead of this line and this line, we say bounded. No, we just say bound. Bound tiles.clear. And then here we say bound tiles dot append. We're going to look at that again. We can go back to having solid colored sprites if we do it this way. This is maybe better. I didn't like it at first, but I think the issue is I just need to clean up some of the UI stuff, maybe. Like, I probably don't need the cursor thing as much. I also like how reactive this is. Like, it knows, the bounded tiles knows when you're in the tile versus not. Like, when you're in the bounds. I like that. I thought it was too busy, but I actually think it's maybe better than the solid color now. I think I've changed my mind. I think maybe the arrows are a mistake a little bit. I kind of like how they flip around though, which is why I did them. I think I like that better than a solid color. I think the way that we have this set up, the solid color is not very good, not very strong. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with it for now though, which means we're gonna get rid of this. Means we're also going to get rid of some of the stuff we were just doing, like around this thing into this thing. We're also going to undo. Actually, no, we didn't do much else. We can undo this. Race cell cursor map. Yeah, we get rid of these things. You try it. Sometimes it doesn't work out. So you just try it. You try it because you don't know. You don't know until you try it. Okay. Then what we can do is we can go back and use the solid color versions of these again. I think it's weird that I'm not using the light mask here. I think I should. Just makes the characters pop a little better. Makes a lot of stuff more simple if we do it this way. Crash. Yeah, that's fine. I might refine the line work a little, is maybe what I might do. More than anything else. Oh, we have an error. It's probably an onReady variable somewhere that's upset. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, this is good. I'm okay with this. I like the minimalism. I do think I need to think a little more hard about how it interacts with the cursor outline stuff. I think maybe that needs to not be so prominent, especially when we're in these areas, but I don't know, maybe it's fine. It's definitely weird when we are in a situation like this, though. There's definitely some times where it's not good. Maybe we shouldn't show it if we're outside like this. Although it looks weird inside too. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe when we're just in this mode, we shouldn't show it. I think when you've selected a character, you shouldn't show the little square outlined thing anymore. I think maybe that's what it should be. Maybe that's something you only see because you've invested your selection in this character. So maybe that's what should happen. I'm going to try that. That sounds good. Sounds good. And that's probably going to be some of the last things we try today. We've been going for a while. but we'll try it. We'll try it first. So we're gonna try. So where do I do this? Probably here. Fig selected. If fig selected is not equal by tile, character fig selected dot emit. Else fig selected is null. Selected tiles dot clear. Elif. That's for select. This is for is action pressed. That's fine. Elif fig by tile has. Else. Focused. It's this else. This else, I don't want to do anything, I don't think. I think we just get rid of this else and see if that does it for us. Actually, no. What we want is another LF. We want to say LF not fig selected. That's what we're going to try. Because I do want the little cursor thing to follow you around. I like this. But I think if you selected a character, yeah, now it shouldn't. I like that, actually, a lot. Because then that's something you invest in a character. Ooh, that looks way cleaner. Yeah, looks good. All right, I'm okay with that. This I'm less okay with. We need to reset this if we go out of bounds. Or we need to at least show the arrow correctly. The problem is it sees the whole path, but it's not drawing it based on the whole only the path that's accessible. It's drawing it based on the whole path. That's maybe the next thing we need to fix. I don't know if I want to fix that right now though. Oh, we also need to clean this up when I unselect the character. That's not happening either. All right, let's do that first. That seems like an easy thing to do. We do it here. What we do is we say bound tiles.clear. Is that all I need? I think that's all I need. Yeah, that's all we needed. Yeah, I like that. Maybe we should clear the path drawing. Maybe we should clear the path drawing anytime we're outside of bounds. We can say, here we have this LF not fig. And we can say, here we can say if cursor map, we can say if not bound tiles dot has cursor map. Then we can say path line dot clear. I like that. That's a simpler way to solve the problem. Honestly, we do need to figure out some other stuff though. So like, yeah, so it'll draw it in here. And then if we step out, oh, it's supposed to, fucker. Why isn't it doing that? Probably because of further down here. If fig selected, yeah, it's down. I need it down here. You can just say if fig selected, if character sheet is moving. Actually, we need the clear to be on the outside. Clear it. Let's just clear right at the top. Here we want if character sheet is moving and oh, we don't know. We don't actually know, do we? We don't want to do bound tiles clear up here. We want to do it here. We want to say if character sheet is moving and bound tiles dot has cursor map. We'll draw the path. This should really not be getting done every single time frame. That might be the wrong place at which to do that, but that's fine. Yeah, what? Oh, I see the problem. Here. Let's say this. And then down here we will say if bound tiles dot has cursor map. Let's say pathline dot clear. Actually, let's do that outside. Let's do that right at the top here. This is a lot of extra effort we're doing. Oh, I'm gonna snooze the ads because we're wrapping up soon. There's just a couple little things I want to clean up. So yeah, so now we'll see the arrow. If we leave the area, we don't see the arrow anymore. We'll still move if I click, which is a mistake, but that's fine. Okay, I think I'm happier with this. I think I'm happier with the dotted line boundary now that I've tried both. I think it's a little weird, especially when you got a radius kind of thing that's like this. I could also figure out a way of drawing that differently if I really wanted to. But I might not. There was something else I wanted to do, wasn't there? I can't remember what it was. Can't remember what it was. Oh, I wanted to change the arrow drawing logic, but if we're going to do it this way, I don't actually have to. We should do a couple of... We should limit the move function. Move selected fig. We need to say if not pathline.idpath is... if not pathline.idpath is empty. What? Oh, are we not actually using the function? We're not actually using the function to move. Is the thing about it. Yeah, we're moving it here. We want to say if fig selected and fig selected.character tile is not equal to cursor map. We also want to say if bound tiles.has and bound tiles.has cursor map. We can't move if we're not in the bounds of the movement. Now, the neat thing about this is the bounds can react to the actual amount of movement the knight has left. So if we move one, then the bounds will shrink and reposition. So yeah, this shouldn't do anything. Actually, I'm okay that it does this, though. That's neat. That's unintended. That's an unintended side effect of the way that the system works, but I think it's kind of neat. So if I try to click, it'll recognize the click, but it will fail. And if I do it in here, yes, okay, yeah, that's pretty much what I want. All right, yeah, we're moving and grooving. We're not moving based on any constraint, any resource-based constraint, but that's the next step. Doing okay. We'll have a red version of these for acting, I think. And then I think the red arrow will be for enemy movement. So we got a strong color system here. What if I party back? Ooh, yeah, that's not great. All right, couple more gaps in the logic, but that's fine. We'll fix that next time. Actually, I could fix that right now, couldn't I? We'll fix it right now. Because I would like to commit this. We'll say on party tab closed, we'll say fig selected equals null. We'll say selected tiles.clear. We'll say bound tiles dot clear, and we'll also say pathline dot clear, just in case. Do the same things here. I'm actually not as sure about the on party tab opened thing. I feel like on party tab opened, we do want to consider that we're maybe in move mode. I'm not going to do that one yet, but this should work. This should work for us here. Play our knight. We're in move mode, and then I go back. Now we're not. If I do this, and then I play an item, now we're in this mode. So yeah, I think I do really want that move button. I think I'll make that next time I sit down and work. I think I'll make our move and act buttons for the UI. And then the UI will be pretty much done. I need to figure out where to put money. I kind of need to figure out where the player's money is going to be. But I also don't know if that matters if you're not in a shop. So we could always have a context menu or something. But we're doing okay. I do like this failure to click thing. I'm going to keep this. Cool. Well, this was good. This felt productive. I had a good time. Hope you did too. This has been Party Wipe episode 32. I will be back Tuesday. I have no plans to cancel any streams next week. I'm hoping to do the full 5. So hopefully I will be back Tuesday. I hope everyone here has a great rest of their weekend. I guess we'll wait for the next song to load here before I actually do the outro. That was pretty dramatic. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day and weekend. And I will see you next time. Hey, Keemeth, good to see you. Thanks for the lurk. See you next time, hopefully. Bye, y'all.